Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's video tutorial. This would be bot number 22 from Dubious positions and how to attack them. Now this would be a central cannon versus greenhouse defense opening system, and it will discuss a similar opening similar to last week's video. So without further ado, let us begin. Central cannon, greenhouse defense. Again in this board, red would choose to play the pawn advancement variation. Black will counter likewise, the edge horse, p1 plus 1. But for this board, instead of the 5-7 cannons, as is usually seen, red would play the 5-6 cannons. This is also considered to be a orthodox line, and it is much more subtler than the 5-7 cannons, but it would also have its own traps and tricks that we will be discussing. Now, and although black had played c8 equals to 6 instead of c equals to 7, black continued to advance his horse to discourage red from developing the chariot as a foul chariot. Unfortunately, this would be the dubious move for this board. Now, there are subtle differences with the 5-7 cannons and the 5-6 cannons. And although the idea was to prevent the red chariot from developing, black would have to pay a price for this mistake. Now, because of red had played the 5-6 cannons, he will now be able to attack with c6 plus 3 to attack the horse. The horse would now be placed in a dilemma. If it retreated, black would have lost tempo. It cannot capture the pawn over here because it is guarded by this horse. So the only move that is played will be h2 plus 1. And red will get to develop his chariot as a foul chariot and threaten this flank over here. Now this is a very big issue for black because red's threat will now be much more direct and powerful. This would also be the position of discussion for this video. At this point in time, there are two major lines, c2 equals to 4 and r1 plus 3 as two major variations. In variation A, c2 equals to 4 is played. Now black traversed the cannon to try to shake off the potential pin on the black horse before deciding on a new course before deciding on what to do next. Now variation B will be discussed later on. So once c2 equals 4 is played, red will play r8 plus 6. And black will try to counter nimbly with this move. Now the idea behind this move is very clever. Black would threaten to play b7 plus 1 to dislodge the red chariot and hopefully shake off trade chariots to alleviate some pressure. This move would also deny red the opportunity to play r2 plus 6 to form a blockade. Now, if e7 plus 5 were played, if red were allowed to get the chariot over here, it is very obvious that black is in deep trouble because in terms of space, black would have not many space to move his pieces. This would be a congested flank. The chariot would have trouble developing, so red would have an overwhelming advantage. And instead of waiting for black to play p7 plus 1, red would take the initiative and play p3 plus 1. Now this is a very exquisite and perhaps the most important move in this variation. By sacrificing the pawn, red would pry open black's defense and even gain material. So let us see. Obviously, black has to capture the pawn. He cannot allow the pawn to advance. And now the cannon will be threatening the red chariot over here. But to black's surprise, he would not have anticipated this move. Red would simply play c5 equals to 4 and even tempt black to capture his cannon. Now, if black tried to gain material, this would be an immediate checkmate. So that is why uh, black can only accept a trade of material. But once after the trade of material, the red chariots are now targeting the cannon, and this will be a check. And red will now play c6 equals to 5, and showing how powerful this cannon was after it moved to a cross-river rank. And red will capture material and have an overwhelming advantage. The horse is ready to go at any time. Black's chariot had not been developed. This horse would not have much to do at this point in time. So red employed several beautiful tactical combinations to capture and gain material, and also command an inaccessible lead. Sorry. Okay, so now let's go to variation B. Variation B, black would try to defend with r1 plus 3. He was prepared to defend stubbornly as he bided his time to try to initiate a counter attack. Now red would play r8 plus 3 to attack the horse. Black will protect the horse in this manner, and red will continue with r2 plus 6. Now black's cannons are linked with his horse. Now this would be another position of discussion. At this point in time, c2 equals to 4 and c2 equals to 3 are discussed. Now in variation BA, c2 equals to 4, black would move his cannon as a pell corner cannon, and red would now take the opportunity to adjust his formation, and this is a very delicate move. Now the obvious target would be the horse that had just crossed the river alone. Black consolidates his defense. C5 equals to 9, preparing to gain material by capturing the horse. Capturing the horse, if the pawn captured it, red will gain material. And a sound move. Now, red cannot be brash and play c8 equals to 9 because black could counter with r1 equals to 2. So that is why r1 equals to 2 or even r1 equals to 4. So that is why h8 plus 7 must be played. And after trading chariots, red will further consolidate his defense and prepare to gain material. So red would have a significant advantage. Now in variation BB, c2 equals to 3. Now compared to c2 equals to 4, c2 equals to 3 is more aggressive. Red will try to attack, but this will be done at the expense of a weaker defense for black. Red will capture the pawn, gain a pawn advantage, and target the horse. And it will be advisable for black to counter in this manner. Black tried to keep things complicated as he tried to salvage the situation. Now this is the recommended move because if e7 plus 5 were played, red would charge the pawn across the river, and red would have an overwhelming advantage. So black was not able to organize a decent defense, and that is why c8 plus 4 to try to put up a fight was recommended in the book. But with this move, black was prepared to play c8 equals 7 to threaten the chariot and capture the elephant, so that black could try to formulate an attack on this flank. Of course, red would not allow that to happen, and instead of moving the chariot, he would play the horse and be prepared to capture the central pawn. Now, if red cannot be greedy and capture the horse because black will be poised to counter-attack after capturing the elephant. The chariot must move, but the elephant will be sacrificed, and black will be able to formulate an attack at this flank. instead of moving the cannon away, red plays very aggressively with c6 goes to 3. Again, the efficiency of this cannon has been remarkable. And at this time, black would have a hard time trying to deal with red's attack from everywhere. So, short review. Central cannon, screen horse, third pawn, edge horse, one and third pawn advancement, and a 5-6 cannons. And black would play h3 plus 2 as a habit, as a move made out of habit. But because red had used the 5-6 cannons instead of the 5-7 cannons, this cannon will now become a very powerful attacking force with c6 plus 3, forcing the horse across the river, and red will manage to develop his chariot as a foul chariot, adding much pressure to this flank. Two major variations: variation A, c2 equals to 4, and variation B, r1 plus 3. In variation A, red will continue to attack with r8 plus 6, a clever attempt by black, but red will exquisitely sacrifice the pawn for this very beautiful combination. And after capturing the central pawn, red gains material and an overwhelming advantage. So variation B, black tries to consolidate his pawn rank. Red immediately pounces on the horse, applies more pressure on this flank, leading to variation BA and variation BB. Variation BA, the pale corner cannon. After some maneuvering, red is poised to gain material, and red will have the advantage. Variation BB, c2 equals to 3. Again, red would attack the pawn. Black would try to counter with c8 plus 3, but c8 plus 4, sorry, but red will counter very powerfully, aggressively, proactively, and secure an advantage. So the main reason for black's demise in this board was because of the fact that he played h3 plus 2. Hence the title, Case of a Mistaken Identity. If c8 equals to 7 were played, this move would not have been possible. So there are still subtle differences between the 5-6 cannons and the 5-7 cannons, as was discussed in the board video last week. And as can be seen, if red were allowed to develop the chariot as a foul chariot, black would be in all sorts of trouble. In both variations, black would either lose material and tempo, and red would be able to apply a huge pin on the black pieces. So if you like the work I've been doing, please do subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up for this video. Thank you.